We all know about Botox, which is an amazing treatment that can help with furrows, it can help with crow's feet, it can help with chin texture. We also all know about fillers. We know about hyaluronic acid fillers that can kind of rejuvenate with a little bit of plumping where we've maybe lost a little bit of volume. We know about these common in-office type treatments, but there is a new kid in town and it is called polynucleotides. These are a form of regenerative in-clinic treatments that they don't replace any of those other things. So they're not replacing Botox, they're not replacing fillers or any of that kind of stuff. They're not gonna replace your lasers or your RF, but they can make your skin behave younger and then respond better to just about every other treatment that you might have. So polynucleotides have been on my radar for about a year now, but in the past 3 months, I've been doing a deep dive on this fascinating treatment that uses fragments of salmon and trout DNA to rejuvenate the skin. I'm super excited to share both the science and my experience having had the treatment. Stick around to the end because I'll share with you some at-home skincare that contains polynucleotides, and I'll give you my take on it. Before we dive in, let's demystify polynucleotides. So polynucleotides, like I said, are purified DNA fragments derived from salmon and trout sources. I know that sounds crazy, but what makes them remarkable is their structural similarity to human DNA. This similarity is key to their effectiveness in skin rejuvenation. When we have polynucleotides microneedled into our skin or injected at a shallow level, as they can do in some other countries outside of the United States, these polynucleotides get broken down into mononucleotides, the individual building blocks of DNA, which attach to fibroblasts and stimulate them to produce more collagen, elastin, and other beneficial skin components. Over the course of like 2 or 3 months after a series of treatments, our fibroblasts get healthier and begin to replicate more frequently. So let's look what happens as we age. Our fibroblasts, the cells that are responsible for producing collagen, become less efficient over time. This leads to visible signs of aging that we are all familiar with. So we are going to see more fine lines, we're going to see less plump and juicy hydrated skin. We're going to see more wrinkling and a little bit more textural changes as we get older. When we have polynucleotides microneedled in clinic or injected, if you live outside the United States, as done like in the UK, our fibroblasts get the stimulation they need not only to be healthier, but to replicate more new healthy fibroblasts. So it's kind of like when we were younger. So not only are they producing more, but there are more of them to produce more. There was a study that investigated the effectiveness of polynucleotide dermal fillers at improving crow's feet and wrinkles and overall skin quality. It was performed on a total of 30 participants, so it wasn't a huge study or anything, and they were aged 19 to 60 years old, and they underwent 4 different treatments, and they measured the results several times at multiple intervals. Skin texture improved. The scores went from 20.7 to 16.23 at 10 weeks. So the percentage of improvement of skin texture was 21.6%. Pore size was assessed and there was a percentage improvement of 25%. Fine line depth was improved by 26%. Skin tone. Skin tone was improved by 3.3%, but they did note that it looked like the melanin returned to baseline at 18 weeks. So I would say there really wasn't any improvement in hyperpigmentation according to this particular study. Skin hydration improved by 4.5%. So interestingly, pore size and fine lines and skin texture, those are the things that really improved in just 10 weeks after 4 treatments with polynucleotides. All right, so how do polynucleotides do all of this magic? They work through hydration and something called biorevitalization. Doesn't that sound fantastic? Polynucleotides are highly hydrophilic. That means that they attract and bind water molecules. So they create this hydrating effect in the extracellular matrix of our skin. That helps to improve our skin strength and our skin elasticity. And the hydration effect is both immediate and then it's also sustained because there is a gradual breakdown of these polynucleotides in our skin. So after they're administered, they stick around for a little while and slowly are broken down, which kind of means they're almost like time release effects on our skin. Then we have that fibroblast stimulation. Basically what happens is the polynucleotides interact with cell surface receptors on the fibroblasts, and they stimulate the production of collagen, the production of elastin, and also something called glycosaminoglycans. Those are things like hyaluronic acid and other humectants in our skin. Now, the other thing that they do is tissue regeneration. Polynucleotides act as kind of like the raw material for local cell growth through enhanced microcirculation and also just an optimized environment for all of the good stuff we want to have happen in our skin. It really creates this optimal environment for our skin to behave like it was younger. So polynucleotides also have antioxidant effects. So they've been shown to have protective effects against oxidative stress, and they may also help to neutralize free radicals in the skin. This is huge because we have this onslaught of oxidative stresses on our skin that is breaking down our collagen all the time. So anything that we can do to help to kind of protect us from that and to neutralize that is going to be a good thing. So all in all, here's what impresses me about polynucleotides. First of all, I'm still learning a lot, but I'm very, very interested in polynucleotide use in specific areas that are really hard to treat, like facial pores and periocular area, so around our eyes. This is an area that can be very, very tricky to treat with fillers and stuff like that because you can get really puffy and it can just look off. The other thing that is incredible with polynucleotides is scars and burns. The regenerative wound healing and the improvement in the skin and kind of that turning back the clock is pretty impressive with polynucleotides. The other thing about polynucleotides that's pretty exciting is that they are being used as a pre-treatment. So you get like a series of polynucleotide treatments in preparation for a laser treatment, a chemical peel, maybe an RF microneedling, something like that. And because you have primed the skin and you have basically improved your fibroblast proliferation, you have improved the number of fibroblasts, you're going to get a better result from some of those other treatments that you do after you do your polynucleotide treatments. In fact, I would even say stuff like at-home LED, at-home RF, at-home microneedling, all of that stuff is going to be better if the skin is primed with polynucleotides. So that is super exciting to me. So here's my and my friends' experience. Because of the different regulations in each country, you'll see a few different approaches to in-clinic polynucleotide treatments. In the United States, the FDA has cleared the use of polynucleotides topically and via microneedling. Now, in the UK and other countries, practitioners can actually choose between microneedling, shallow injection, mesotherapy. They can do it all kinds of different ways. So Nancy's results are after 3 sessions, and she did have them injected. She lives in the UK, and she did have them injected, and they looked like little blebs underneath the skin. She had 3 sessions in the period of 2 months, and I would say that her biggest improvement is around her eyes. She really improved her crow's feet. The lines that you can see in her before are significantly diminished. And of course, those are expression lines from lots of smiling and happiness. And they are beautiful before, but it's really cool to see the rejuvenation of the skin after. And the fact that they aren't as prominent is just evidence of how good of a regeneration this treatment truly is. And I would say that her downtime was pretty low. She had those blebs for maybe 24 hours, a little bit of swelling, a little bit of redness, but by like day 2.5, she was completely fine. So basically her treatment protocol was an initial series of 3 treatments. She did them about 2 to 4 weeks apart, and she will do maintenance treatments every 4 to 6 months. So for me, I have had 2 treatments microneedled under the eyes, and then she did a little bit, she did pretty shallow 0.5 stamped underneath my eyes, and she did 1 on my face. And in particular, around my eyes, I have noticed a vast improvement in the brightness of my eyes, in the texture of my skin in general. And also I have noticed that it just looks a little bit firmer and more elastic. It looks a little bit more cushy almost. So I feel like my hollows look a little bit better. The differentiation between this kind of ridge right here and then the hollow seems a little bit more gradual instead of just kind of like all of a sudden I'm hollow. So for all of that, it is subtle, but it is definitely a change that I've noticed over time. It's also really nice because there's no hyaluronic acid involved, so I'm not, you know, gathering fluid there. I'm not getting puffy under my eyes, which is traditionally what can happen, certainly with hyaluronic acid fillers and stuff like that, which are more, you know, have been in the past the way that people would treat under eye hollows. They would do that or like fat transfer or something like that. Now, the treatment typically is like a series of 2 to 3 sessions, and they may be between 2 and 6 weeks apart or something like that. It really depends on the provider that you talk to. The treatments can be anywhere from $150 to $500. It kind of depends on where you live. And there are also at-home polynucleotide options, which is pretty cool. I have ordered a bunch of products from the brand rejuvenation, and if I get them before I'm done filming, I will certainly insert some B-roll here. I will give you some shots. The things that I'm really, really excited about, they have a serum that is, I think it's called turnover serum, and it is definitely something that I think would be fantastic used nightly as a serum, but also would be really, really great for cosmetic needling. And they have a proprietary PDRN in their serum, and I'm definitely doing a deep dive on that as well. I also ordered their scar gel, which looks like it's got a high concentration of this patented PDRN in it, and so I'm super excited to test that out as well. And then I ordered their sheet masks that look like they probably deliver an absolute glow to the skin and help with that immediate hydration and immediate glow. I will report back on all of those as soon as I have a chance to experience them, but I'm very, very hopeful that this is a way that if you can't get into a provider, that maybe you can introduce some of this into your own skincare at home. All right, you guys, if you are interested in any more information, any frequently asked questions, please do leave them down below. Like I said, I'm writing a blog, and I will take your questions and I will do my best to answer anything in addition to what we've covered here today. I think what you can take away from all of this is polynucleotides and PDRN is actually really, really an exciting advancement in skincare, especially here in the United States, where we're kind of catching up with the 2 decades of research that Korea has been doing. And I'm really, really excited to try and incorporate this, if nothing else, into my cosmetic microneedling routine. I also am really, really excited about it for scar repair, and I'm excited about it just for, in general, an in-office procedure that we can do to prime the skin for bigger procedures like lasers and RF microneedling, etc., so that we get even better results out of them. In addition to being able to do it at home so that we get better results out of our at-home devices as well. I hope you're having the most fantastic day, and I will talk to you in my next skincare video. Take care.